right. Good day, traders. Hope you guys are good, and welcome to this week's segment of our weekly market breakdowns. So, without wasting any time, let's get straight into it. The first pair that we're going to look at is GBPJPY. So, as you can see, we're in a long-term uptrend, and the market is looking to fill in the gaps here, right? So, the first area of liquidity being this high over here, and then the second one being this one over here. So for now, I think the market is targeting this zone over here, right? So until the market hits that point, we'll assume that this is the point where the market's going to reverse. So this is our target. All right. So now that we've identified our potential target and the direction, now we have to now determine the phase that we're in terms of this uptrend. As you can see right here, we had this major break of structure over here. After that major break of structure, the market came back with this candlestick over here to retest the remaining order blocks. So that's the pattern, right? But bear in mind, we didn't have a specific fair value gap to fill, but we had this area of equal lows over here. So as you can see, the market grabbed a bit of that liquidity and then went higher, right? Now, it even went higher to a point where it broke past the previous monthly high, number one. It also broke past the swing high. So we can confirm that the bulls are back in the market and now are making their way to the upside. I hope that makes sense. So now going to the lower time frames, this right here is much more clear. It's fine. This right here is the break of structure that I wanted to bring your guys' attention to, right? And then we have our previous weekly high, our previous weekly low and our previous weekly high. So what I think will happen is I think the market will continue to break past that weekly high, right? Since it has incentive to do so. I don't necessarily think that the market will take liquidity from this low. What I think will happen though is if it happens that we have an induction towards the downside, it will find liquidity from the lower time frames, right? But I don't see it going all the way to the downside because also there are no fair value gaps right here. So the market does not have incentive to go down, right? So if we go to the daily, we can get a much more clear picture of where we should expect this thing right here. So right here also, we have a break of structure over here. And so what I think you should expect, right, is for the market to break this high over here, right? And then we want to see the market consolidating from the zone. So that's what I want to see. I want to see the market breaking the highs, a candlestick consolidating away from the zone. I'll just draw it so that I don't forget how it should look. We need this candlestick right here to confirm this right here as an area of demand, right? So if we can get a breakout and a pullback, retesting this plot over here, then we can be in a much more comfortable position to open a trade. And if we do, then that's our opportunity to buy. So we're just waiting for that. I'm waiting for that, right? But for now, let's move on to another pair. All right, so the next pair where I see like a potential setup is actually EURGBP, right? Not a lot of opportunities this week, but on EURGBP, we can see that we had this movement towards the upside, breaking previous structures. We had a correction. We also had a movement that shot up, right? Hitting our target. So we took a trade a couple of weeks ago. Fine. Now we've had this drop right here, and I think the market is looking to fill in this gap over here in order to retest this zone over here, right? And we have our previous weekly low as our area of liquidity, meaning the market does have incentive to print an induction that will take out this liquidity, hit the zone, print a midweek reversal, and then initiate the movement towards the upside, right? So I'm expecting a rejection from the zone. If we look at the weekly, the daily, sorry. If we look at the daily, you'll see the market has been dropping, creating lower highs and lower lows. Recently also, well, partially broke this low over here, right? So the market is printing a decent correction. The reason why I say it's a correction is because if you look at this trend compared to the previous trend, this trend is actually a smaller trend, right? I have an entire video describing what a trend looks like and what the difference between a main trend and a counter trend is, if you're still unfamiliar with that. Okay, so on top of us having incentive to take out this liquidity over here, you can also see that we have these unfilled fair value gaps right here. And remember, we have a zone in here. So the market has incentive to fill in 1 and 2. So I'll place my limit order here. All right. This is a bit extreme. I don't think the market will go all the way. But in case the market does, this is where I'll have my limit order. And then my take profit will be at this high over here. So I'm still bullish on EURGBP. I just think that we are now in the correction phase of it. Right. So what will make me believe that this trend is actually changed, right? Is if we break below this low over here. So if you go to the weekly and you switch over to the line chart, you'll see the trend here is explicit. You have this impulse, correction, impulse, and correction, right? We have the strong low here. The reason why I say it's a strong low is because it has broken through a previous structure, forming a new high. So now this trend is still intact for as long as this low over here hasn't been broken, right? For as long as the market hasn't broken through this low, this trend is still considered to be valid. So yeah, these are my sentiments on EURGBP. Like I said, this is the only valid setup that I see for now, right? Let's go to one final pair for the week. All right. So the final pair for this week that's on my watch list is NZDCHF. Now here is an update from a setup that I sent about, I think, a month ago, right? Where I was expecting the market to consolidate away from the zone that it just formed. So as you can see right here, that's what happened here. The market is slowly pushing towards the upside in order to fill in this gap over here, number one, and in order to retest the zone. Now, as I was looking at this pair last week, I realized that the zone is located at an immediate source of liquidity. So making the zone right here a zone that's not high probability. So there's a chance that the market will take out this liquidity over here, go towards the upside and fill in this gap over here, and then try to retest the zone over here. But I have my issues with the zone over here, which I think we'll get into once the market actually breaks the zone. But for now, let's focus on this one over here, right? So assuming that the market will retest and reverse from it, what am I expecting in the coming week? I'm expecting a push towards the upside. I'm not sure if the market will reverse next week or the week afterwards, but after we get this, I'm expecting the market to push towards the downside. And this is our ultimate take profit. Now, looking at how long it took for the market to move from this point over here to this point over here, and also looking at the wicks, right? We can assume that on the lower time frames, the market is printing an induction, which is what you see over here. The market is taking longer to travel from here to here. So we've had a failure swing, and then the market broke. Structure presenting a change of character. And so with the VIP clients, I was able to capitalize on this movement towards the upside here. And the plan was we capitalize on this short-term movement towards the upside, Remember from the previous session, we already had our limit orders set here. So if the market takes out the zone, then we have another limit order resting on top of it. So this is what I'm expecting, right? An induction, a push towards the upside, the market to hit zones, after hitting zones, a drop towards the downside. But yeah, this session was short, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video. For now, peace.